Ever since I saw...
Welcome to Starcast.
Oh, he would like to build a universe with us.
He would.
I'm so special.
You feel touched?
Yeah.
I don't know where he feels touched. Hey everybody, welcome to Starcast. Once again, we are here with Mr. Clifford, aka Miku. Mr.
Hello.
Trendane everywhere. I like the look.
I'm
And
cleaning my keyboard. What do you want?
What do you got, Spengma in there?
No.
And we've got Mr. YEARS100, video
Hello.
editor extraordinaire. So, how you guys doing tonight?
Doing good.
Cleaning my keyboard.
Cleaning your keyboard.
Been cleaning my office.
Years just drove home like a maniac to get here on time.
I did. It was crazy. I nearly hit an old lady crossing the street.
Is that the high-speed chase that was going on in Disneyland just recently?
With a golf cart?
We agreed not to talk about that.
You may have agreed to not talk about it. I didn't agree to not talk it. That's right. I'm a voice actor.
That's why, yeah, Trendane voice actor. Words and things.
I'm not a writer. Somebody hands me a script and I go.
Yes. We have no script. This show is all about completely scriptless vapidity. Isn't
If
that a
that's
word?
not a word, it is now.
I'm gonna
I
make
guess.
that up.
It is now.
Yeah.
You're rocking that beanie pretty good.
Oh, yes, this is an accountant's beanie. She made this beanie to match the show's background. She hand knitted it.
Matches your headset too.
It does match the headset. Well, the reason it matches the headset, funny enough, is this is
it's-
green. And so it's a green screen. And you're seeing it happens to match because it's green.
So she made it to match the background.
Yes.
Now this worries me a little
Why?
bit because what happens when you change the background?
I never do. It's the same show.
But what's going to happen when you finally decide to do that? Because there was a lady when I was a vet tech in Hawaii
Yeah.
who brought her poodle in to have it put to sleep because they had redone the house and he no longer matched.
Well, I could put this hat to sleep. We could set the hat on fire and burn it in some sort of Viking ceremony.
Yeah, okay. I hope a countess is not listening to that.
Well, if we have to change the background, then she could make another one.
Oh, sure. We'll just have her crank out beanies like babies. We'll call them beanie,
Beanie
babies.
babies,
Nobody's
yeah.
ever done that before.
Ever. I
a
want
new
two
toy.
boobies right on my head.
It's a beanie baby booby.
Boobies.
Beanie booby.
Hey, everybody in the audience. Hello. So, yeah, we got some stuff to talk about this week with Star Citizen. Right now, they just got through launching a brand new Soyuz rocket into space, and apparently they've taken it offline. Maybe the rocket exploded. I don't know. But it was live streaming a minute ago, and now it's gone, and I'm sad.
It's okay. I was watching the launch while it was happening on the live stream, and they were like, 5, 4. The video froze.
Right.
And I'm like, no! It's just, and it just
Bring it
sat there.
back!
This thing, it's like you can just see the spark, the light just starting up at the bottom of the rocket. It just froze right there. And then I hear them. They're like 15 seconds off the pad. And I'm like, refresh. And then it cuts to the inside and the astronaut sitting there, cosmonaut, excuse me, sitting there with his little pokey stick going, son of a bitch.
Yeah, that happened the last time we were watching. What was it? The Atlas rocket. What was the one we were watching before? And
I tried to.
I was streaming it because I was playing what was I playing? Kerbal probably,
Kerbal.
or something like that. Yeah. So I'm playing Kerbal and there's an actual launch going on. So I was like kept cutting back and forth, and exactly that. It was right to the last second, and they're launching, and then it was just frozen. I'm like, no. Yeah, still it said con.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, no.
Yeah. So YEARS100, sir.
Yes, sir.
Tell us a little bit about how you got to be so awesome at video editing.
First, that would require me to be awesome at video editing.
Oh, you are.
But how did I get involved in video editing? Let's go with that one.
We'll
I
go
can
with
do
that
that one.
I will
So
throw in
video
the
editing-
awesome things, but
So video editing was something I did out of boredom. basically, I made my first video way back in the day, back when Star Wars: The Old Republic had just come out.
That's when I started on YouTube as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Through SWTOR?
Yeah, to SWTOR.
Did you stream that?
No, never streamed. I just made some videos for it. That was terrible. I put like all kinds of like dubstep music in the background that I was Katy Perry, whatever I found, just threw it in. You know what I mean? Totally breaking every rule in the book.
Well, you were doing YouTube way before Twitch, anyways.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, way back when.
When did Twitch even begin?
I don't know. It's not that old.
The
Maybe
dawn of
it's always-
time.
The dawn of
Maybe it's always
All right, so
existed.
you're going to be modest and everything, but
so-
your video editing skills are actually really good. Because I'm a
you.
video editor as well, and your timing and things are just so spot on for, especially like with beats with the music and all of that, really in sync. Specifically, your video of what was the one you just did recently?
Careers, Star Citizen Careers.
Was it the careers one? One of them had a lot of music, and it was just like perfectly lined
They
up.
both had music in them.
Yeah.
I usually try to base off of music,
I
but
really like the fighter pilot one was the best.
Thank
I
you.
think.
All right, continue
All right.
on. Sorry.
No, wait, okay. Wait, where are we starting from now?
Wherever you was
That was like all over the place.
We always go all over the place. Never expect us to stay linear. We're kind of
Right.
ADHD around here.
Okay, then I'll go back in time. How did I get better at video editing?
Yeah.
Is through a lot of practice and a lot of bad videos. Basically, so in college I was bored. I picked up the trial for Adobe Premiere 5 at the time.
Thank you,
I think.
baby Jesus. You're not using Vegas.
I looked at that, but I just liked Premiere better. It just seemed like a solid program.
It is.
So I went with Premiere 5, made the Star Wars, the SWTOR video. That did really well. Like, I got lucky. It went up to, I think it's my only video past 60,000 views right now. But it did fairly good, and it encouraged me. And so from there, I kept on making videos, and in summer of 2013, I found out about Star Citizen. And I actually made several Star Citizen videos in the past that just didn't do too well. Like, they were good practice, not really good practice for when I eventually made Imagine and other videos like that. But it was a lot of trial and error, a lot of figuring out what works and what didn't, and learning from my mistakes. And so one other thing that I think helps me anyways is that I was like, hey, Star Citizen is made using community feedback. Why don't I do my videos the same way? And so what I would do, preposterous. But what I would do is I'd take videos and I'd make an early work in progress, and then I'd like go on the forums and say, hey, could you guys check this out and deliver harsh feedback? I'm a huge fan of harsh feedback. If you have something mean to say, that's what I'm looking for.
No,
Except-
see, you suck doesn't
suck
really help.
Well,
it has
if
to
you
be
say you suck
constructive.
Right, yeah.
because
You suck because because your video was crappy and whatever. Exactly.
And so I would do that, and I'd throw it online, and people would come back, and I'd iterate, and then I'd throw the next available version online and ask for new eyes to judge it, as well as the old ones, and then just keep working it out. Usually the video I throw up on my channel is at least 5 iterations in, if not more usually,
Wow,
just
that's dedication.
in a round of figuring out what's good and what isn't. Generally, I try. Imagine took forever. That one was probably my biggest. That one was at least over 10 iterations by the time it was done. Just modifying the timing and tweaking the content and the footage and telling a cleaner, more cohesive story and stuff like that. But yeah. So how did I get to where I am with video editing?
Well,
Lots
it
of
sounds
mistakes.
Yeah, it sounds like you have a really strong process. Me, I usually do a one shot. Like I make a video, put it together, and just put it up. And that's probably not the best thing to do.
He just wing it.
I wing a lot of things.
I don't know. I use Pinnacle Studio 17 is the program of my
Pinnacle
choice.
Studios?
Oh,
Yes.
No. Oh no, really?
Oh, why the faces?
No,
I like it.
I thought he was going to say something else.
Oh, okay.
He started saying pinna, and I thought he was going with tration, and he said cool. I was like, okay, thank God. So I was-
Penetration.
No, not penetration.
No, I
So,
like
Dane, do
Pinnacle
you ever make
Studios.
any videos, straight up videos? You just mostly stream.
Straight videos? No.
No, not straight videos. Straight up.
Oh.
You just steal the spotlight in videos that you're in.
Yeah. He steals. He's like a
It was the
baby on a
show.
But
video.
the fighter pilot is like,
This
"Oh
is
my
bad.
gosh, his voice is so great with bulkheads. Oh my gosh, Trent is so funny."
We're getting there. We're getting there. We're reluctantly dragging him into the spotlight. Because look at him. He doesn't even want to talk about it right now.
He's so embarrassed.
He's the bear.
Aw,
I'm not embarrassed. I just
His voice is his art, and we're trying to get him to spray his art all over the walls like he should.
that reminds me of something
Does it now?
from yesterday. Yeah.
Okay. Go
while
ahead.
while I apply lip balm.
Ooh, do tell.
I woke up from a nap about 2:30 in the afternoon, and I'll leave most of this story out. But I looked out through my window,
Oh boy.
and I have a loquat tree, which is sort of like a little Asian fruit. It's about that big, right outside my window, and there's a squirrel in the window outside. And I kind of lean back and look up at the window at the squirrel who's sitting there on a branch, just sitting there going. I'm like, what are you doing? And you mentioned spraying stuff all over the wall, so I immediately think of this. I'm like, and so he just sits there and he keeps gagging, and then he's like,
Tastes better the second time.
Okay, I'm good.
and I'm like, what are you doing? And he kept doing that until he starts just throwing up loquat goo, and it just kind of drops to the ground outside. I'm like, great, now the dogs are going to roll in that. Oh, man. And I thought, okay, he's done. No, he sat there for like 20 minutes gagging. Why do you eat this stuff if it makes you do that? Because he just sits there and eats like 10 of these things, and that's like his entire body mass.
It's like a
10
diet
of
of
these
those
loquat
candy.
things.
Because humans go out and we get drunk and then we throw it up everywhere. So
Yeah.
can we really be judging the squirrel?
Yeah, don't be a
Yes.
squirrel hater.
I think he's a bulimic squirrel. I think. Is the
Don't
problem.
hate him because you ain't him. Like,
All right, well, let's get started talking about Star Citizen.
Star Citizen.
stuff, now that we're 20 minutes into the show. All right, so first up, REC. REC, which is a brand new monetary system that allows people to go and play the game, earn pennies, take that pennies to the store, and buy stuff.
Yeah, electronic access.
Yeah, so
shots fired much?
well, yes, it's quite kind of a big debate this week, and Clifford was telling me more about this earlier. Go ahead and chime in, guys, on what your thoughts are on this REC debate. Go ahead, YEARS100. What do you think?
I was not aware that people were upset at it anymore. I thought it became too easy to get.
Well, okay. Leading to that, people have discovered that, like in the races, they could camp, go through the finish line, or go through out in the finish line first. They'll go around there and park, let everybody else win, and they'll walk away with 100K. They'll just walk away from the computer and just let them sit there, and they'll do it over and over and over again.
So gaming the
and
system.
earn REC.
Yeah.
Without having to do anything.
So I would say to that pre-alpha, it's obviously going to get fixed, just as everything is in Star Citizen. They're going to tweak it till it's good, and they won't be happy till it's there. So I'm not really worried with that. And besides, it's fake money. It impacts, like, if it was UEC, it would be a different matter, but it has no bearing on CIG's profits or anything like that.
But you can buy things with it in the store, which indirectly you could sort of swap around and buy things with cash, and therefore it almost is money. You know what I mean? It's sort of like a 2 or 3 step process, but it's sort of money.
Wait. How do you do that?
Well, can't you buy stuff in the store with UEC?
Yes.
Yeah,
well, the
that's-
Voyager Direct store, the EA store.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
different. That's permanent.
Yeah.
This is rental stuff.
Yeah, this is rental stuff.
Right. So,
Yeah.
But either way, you can.
But something bought with REC could never be redeemed in UEC.
Yeah,
as
yeah.
far as I know.
Right.
Yeah, it's just within the verse of Arena Commander, the game, like the little simulation.
I was trying to make a connection between that you can buy them. You buy things with both, but I guess you're not buying; you're just renting. But either way, you could have an advantage over somebody for a while, I guess.
Yeah, you could.
Well,
Yeah.
well, it's like me. I got some of the guns that they buy off of REC for 7 days. I got permanent, so I don't ever have to bother with REC. Period.
Do you have them all permanent?
A lot of the good ones, anyways.
Nice.
Because because my bottom line has always been, I'm giving them more money to build the game.
Yeah.
That's all
Yeah.
I see it as. other people might see it differently, saying, "Oh, well, you're just gaining the system to have advantage in Arena Commander." Not really, because I've bought several weapons that I never use, don't plan to use. It's just me to spend, the UEC that I bought. I mean, one other thing that the complaints have been, and I know, I mean, Ben has already reiterated this over and over again,
just
but
posted a minute ago, I guess.
There's going to be people, saying it over and over again because a lot of the streamers have been running into this problem is that, well, with Rec right now, you can't buy the Super Hornet or the Delta or the M50, and that's pay to win right there. And so, it's like you're about on an uphill battle right now of saying, well, wait, they're getting it ready. They're going to put it, well, right now it's still pay to win, so you're just.
There's that whole thing that this game at the moment is pay to win, but it isn't, at the same time. If you're coming at it, looking at it from the outside, it does appear to be that way.
I'll tell you exactly what it needs to be considered pay to win. A fucking release candidate. The game is not done. Okay, right. It is not pay to win if the game isn't finished.
We've had this debate so many times.
The ever loving fuck up.
I know we're all totally on board to say this game is not pay to win. Eventually,
the reason being
finished, but go ahead.
Kind of like what you're saying, Geek Domo. Like it could be considered pay to win if you look at it with like a very narrow lens. Mm-hmm. Like if you look at the very small portion that we have available to us right now, yes, people who do buy ships have an advantage right now. But that's because it's freaking pre-alpha. Like and this isn't the game. This is not Star Citizen. This is like the gameception. It's the Simpod. It's a game within the game, and it's not even finalized. Mm-hmm. Like when Star Citizen comes out, one thing that me and the people at Imperial News Network talk about a lot is that something also to consider is that, say I buy a Hornet, mm-hmm. and I have bought a Hornet. So say I have my Hornet that I just bought, and then you have this Aurora pilot who goes in and he works his way through the game and he earns a Hornet. Who's going to have more experience at that point? Me, with just me coming in as a Hornet, or the guy who earned it? Like, we've seen people in lesser ships beat out higher ships.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
On a daily basis, like crazy. Like, just buying that ship doesn't give me an advantage. I have to be good at flying it. And that's something that we won't see for now. So it can look pay to win, but when the game launches, it's not going to be. And in fact, with the credit cap that there will be on a daily basis, you won't even have to deal with people just buying ships in one go.
Right. When it comes out.
When it comes out.
Yeah. Exactly.
Soon.
TM.
Yeah, because I'm still curious of how they're earning, how their money, how their how do you say it? How they'll earn capital going forward once the game is fully launched and released.
Monetization of the game after it's released. Yeah.
That's still to be foreseen how they're going to do that, because they're going to have to come up with something that will keep them alive and keep them going, even though they won't need as much money as they do now, because of course, obviously, their employment will scale back down once it launches.
I was talking to Batgirl, actually, Nicole D'Angelo. She's fantastic.
I've had her on the show a few times.
Yeah, she's awesome. And she was explaining how it's going to be a combination of subscription, the UEC, mm-hmm. the $25K a day that you can pay for, as well as the expansions that go forward. And there was some other aspect, too, that totally made sense. But I was like, after talking with her, I was like, oh, I think they'll manage. I think they'll be good in terms of keeping the game going.
They will. A lot of it right now is just everyone's so up in arms about the game, long-term success, and they're getting worked up over these minutia that really won't matter in the long run.
Not to interrupt. Oh, go ahead.
But go ahead.
Well, not to interrupt. This is off topic, real quick, Domo. Don't forget your question, Dill.
Yeah. I posted a couple times here. If you guys have a question, ! Question, we'll take you to a form. And you just fill the questions in the form, and then we will get to the questions later on. We do a Q&A session after we talk about the news, so that is in probably about 40 minutes. So please get your questions ready. Go fill out the form. We will get to the questions as soon as we can.
Can't see the link.
Yeah, Praetor Meyer, that is true. He said pay to win is only when you get an advantage over other players by buying something that wouldn't be available to other players or having to pay for them in real life money for it. That is my definition as well, and I'm hoping that that definition will win out. But there are still other people in the world, and I see them all the time on my videos because I have a couple videos talking about how Star Citizen isn't pay to win and it won't be, and people still hate the game and want to argue that it is. They will throw their definition in, and because their definition is different than that definition, they feel that they're right, and they are very adamant about how their definition is the correct definition, and our definition, the one it's the same as what yours is wrong. And so that's why, because there's no standard definition for pay to win. It's sort of your own perception, and if you don't like spending money on any games at all, like you want everything to be completely 100% free forever, then any money at all will seem like pay to win.
And my thing about this, Domo, is, okay, for a person owning a lot of ships that I do, okay, this is one thing I'm kind of... Well, this is one thing I'm thinking about as far as like people would view me as pay to win is like this. Okay, having 2 of every ship. When the verse comes out, I could sell 1 of each ship and have a buttload of UEC at my disposal to buy a factory. The only thing, because I think they said you're going to be able to create a company, actually run a company. So I think as far as the economy is concerned, I might have an advantage that way. That's just me throwing that out there. That's the only advantage I could see me having. Is advantage on the economic market.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'll flip that around and say that for every player, there's going to be 10 NPCs that are also working their magic in the verse. The idea is that it's going to be a heavily populated verse, and that players will actually be the rarer of the occurrences between NPCs and players. So while you could have a factory that could have an effect, another player could also buy a factory and then do their best to shut you down. And so forces within the game will also act against the player, ensuring that it doesn't become like EVE, where you can have players with megacorps just run the whole thing.
Gotcha.
One of the things that, and this is a good example, I've been playing a lot of lately is World of Warships, brand new game. It's in closed beta, and that game has a pay-to win element if you look at it a certain way, but if you look at it another way, it's not. Where you can buy a destroyer at a higher tier, like a tier 2 or tier 3 destroyer, but you can't expand from there. You can't you're getting any more XP. That ship will not get you any more XP along that line. Now you could use it to farm XP for later on, but right now you can't even convert that. But you know, if Star Citizen were to do something similar along those lines, to where maybe when the game's released, you could purchase a ship that will allow you to at least go out there and do some basic jobs. Other than, I don't know. See, I guess the Aurora and those other ships probably could do that anyway, and you'll probably be able to buy that package. So I guess that's all moot. Where I was going with this, but yeah, lost the track.
It's all good.
I was gonna try to make an argument there, but it doesn't work because Star Citizen.
What was the argument that you were going to make?
I was going to say that if they had some sort of system in place where you could buy some higher level ship, that maybe the wreck thing is like that. You can go and play, earn this, and then you can go rent some ships. So you can do a big load delivery somewhere, make a lot of money, and then you can come back and do that. So that might be. It's kind of what I'm going for. Trendane is lost. He's just he's polishing his knob.
My mouse.
Oh, it's a mouse. Oh,
Mouse.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just suddenly overtaken with the need to clean my mouse because it's sticky.
Sticky mouse are worst things ever. All right, so let's go on to our next topic of discussion, which is the Vanguard.
Ooh.
The brand new pretty ship. Vanguard.
You mean the Bulldog?
Well, the Bulldog, a.k.a. Vanguard. Long-range deep space fighter. It's very cool looking.
Pony in the face.
Yeah, this
Ooh,
one.
hey, you threw it up. Nice. Like that squirrel.
Finally. Oh, the wreck is only usable in the AC, not the
Hell is
VU.
that?
Maybe.
Yeah. No,
Yeah, Rec is only usable in HD.
Rec is only in the holographic, or what do they call it?
The
Virtual. Yeah, the simulation. It's only Rec's only utilizable in the Star System simulation.
They'll
Okay.
probably
Of the
Star
game.
Marine too when that comes out. I'm guessing.
Yeah. It'll be a place where your friends can go and practice and virtually.
Now, there's a bit of debate over this thing, of course. There's some concern posts on the threads. This ship is supposed to be somewhere in the range of $275 to $300. Or 250.
Ben said it was $250.
Okay, 250. Even
now
so,
with the VAT, that will go up a little bit.
Right,
of course.
for people in Europe, this is going to be a very expensive ship. It's probably closer to 300. Do you think SIG is sort of like stretching the limits here a little bit with their monetization?
One of the things I thought was curious is that somebody on the Reddit, the Star Citizen Reddit thread, did an overlay of this compared to the Redeemer, because they have nearly the same cockpit, and he assumed thus the sizes were similar. If he's right, this ship comes out at around 50 to 60 meters long. Oh. So this isn't just a small little ship. No, he could be wrong.
It looks big. I mean, it looks like it would be.
It does look big. Yeah. And I remember talking to Batgirl again, and she was like, this is a formidable ship. It has tons of weapons, has a really cool design. The interior, their thoughts concerning it are really sweet. She said if I had to compare it to a modern-day airplane, well, an older modern-day airplane, it would be the B-52, or the B-25.
Oh, B-25. I was going to say B-52s would be awesome.
Yeah, sorry.
I love that song.
B-52 is sick, yeah. But no, B-25. And she said, if anything, she feels the price for this ship is more justified than the price for the Redeemer. Because
so this isn't
necessarily
a fighter. This isn't really a fighter. This is more like a...
Have you ever played the Freelancer game?
It's like a cruiser. Yeah.
Yeah, you remember like the is it called the Corsair, the Eagle in the very end? Like the heavy fighter ship?
Yeah.
I'd almost say that's what this is. It's like a heavy strike craft.
Well, I mean, they even gave Ben gave references of what this inspired this ship, which was like I think they said the Lightning and something else, some other heavy hitter ships. I mean, heavy hitter planes. And basically, what you're paying for is you're paying for a ship that has got a shit ton more armor on it than any other ship, can carry a heavier fuel payload, and can go longer distances. This is going to be your strike vessel. This will be the one that will probably be hitting the battlefield first because it has the long-range capability. They will probably send these fighters out first to actually, one, kind of scope out the battlefield, see what's going on first. That way they can also defend, and probably they'll send this ship along with a Herald, because the Herald can get in and out of there really quickly.
Ooh, good point.
So I could see them sending this ship and a couple Heralds out so they can get a lay of the land. Those ships can protect it, but it's not as maneuverable as a Hornet is. Yeah. That's its disadvantage, is that they said it doesn't have
much farther than a Hornet. Hornet has to stay close to Mama,
So that's why there's trade-offs with this ship, but it also it's a powerful ship. Batgirl said, and you can take this, she said this was her guess, but she said it seemed, when she saw it in person, it seemed designed to like three... That'd be so cool. If anybody knows how to 3D print one of these ships according to real life scale, I'd be down for that. But
it'd take quite a bit of resin.
That would be awesome. But she said it seemed designed to be able to take down, like 3 of them could take down a cruiser. Now, again, that was just her guess, not an official statement. But what Clifford was saying, it's a powerful ship.
Well, and but also, like she said, it could take down a cruiser. That's maybe unlikely because of the fact of what Chris told us at the bar about how people were worried, where Skrull was worried about the Idris, about if a bunch of these Redeemers come, say 5 to 10 Redeemers just come waylaying at Idris, that they would take it down easily. And he said, no. He said the Idris is heavily armored plus heavily shielded. He said it's going to take waves and waves of hits to bring it down.
The Idris, really?
Yeah, because Skrull's perspective of the Idris, or like any of these planes, is that having reaction time. Well, if you got all these all suddenly coming up on you, you're not going to have long enough reaction time to actually defend. And he was worried about that. He said, no, the Idris has enough firepower and defensive capabilities that it will withstand a load of hits because it is capital classes. He said capital class ships, you're going to need literally another capital class to take it down instantly. Other than that, if you have a bunch of ships,
1,000 Auroras slamming into the side of an Idris?
Test squadron.
That might be a little bit different, but I mean, he was just reiterating that it's not going. There's going to be balancing, yes, but they're not easily taken down. Capital ships are not easily taken down, or cruisers. There is going to take. It's going to take some good key point hits.
Yeah.
And along those lines, back to your original question, is CIG stretching what they can get away with in terms of finances? I think one of the cool things is that whenever they sell a ship, they're like, hey, this isn't an insta-win ticket. Like, like even in the Idris, you won't be able to instant win. You'll need a crew, and you'll need armaments, and you'll need to pay for repair costs and insurance costs. It'll be a costly ship to run. But they say that it is an insta-win. You don't have to buy it. It will be available in the verse. And they put the price out based on how much it will cost in game based on its capabilities.
Right.
There's never a point where they're like, "Hey, we can gouge our community more."
Oh, I know. Yeah, we've actually talked to Ben about this.
No, but people do say that. They're like, "Wow, they really are testing the waters here." And no, they're not trying to get away with, cheating their community. They're valuing it justifiably, and if anything, Ben was like, sometimes we devalue it because we're like, oh, maybe it should cost this much, but instead we're going to sell it for this much because that's more reasonable. Yeah.
What do you think, Trendane?
Yeah.
He's not interested. He doesn't want a fighter. He's a lover.
He's a traitor. Yeah, he's a traitor.
I'm an explorer first.
Oh,
yeah, he's an explorer.
Well, you could explore with lots of guns.
Did you ever get a Carrack?
No. You have freelancers.
I have my freelancer.
Which one?
Trendane, give him a couple of Carracks, why don't you?
Give him what?
A couple Carracks.
Yeah.
I said
we might have to get Trendane a Carrack.
Yeah.
No. How many people does it take to fly a Carrack?
500.
See, I don't have that many characters.
Like 6 or 7.
Yeah, I think 8 was the max. I think as far as like stations to fill.
I don't have that many characters, and I don't have that many friends. So.
I think you'll have.
And everybody's like, "Oh, I'll fly with you, Trent." You don't understand. See, what I'm talking about is you've got the galactic map, and up here you kind of got the Vanduul, all up in here, and the Centauri system is right there. You get the Vanduul, and you got the UEE, and the Centauri system where all the freelancers are made is right there, and the CEO just died at 106. Anyway.
Should have got some more implants.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, so but my plan is to go this way.
So you want to be kind of lonely out in space, Commander Tom?
I don't want to be lonely,
but you just be out there floating around doing your thing.
I'll be occasionally going out there with my fuel truck to go fuel them up.
Are you Starfarer?
Yeah, I'll definitely go out there and fill them up with Starfarer.
But the problem is that I think I'm going to have like 3 characters or so. One of them is just going to go. He's just going to take the hell off. He's going to go as far as he can get, and then turn around and come back and say, "Here's what I found." And then he's going to pack, a whole bunch of shit up, and he's going to go out again. And he's going to go back because on the second trip out, he's going to know where all the jump points are. He's going to know how to navigate them, unless they've changed since he was there last. And he's going to go through them all again, and it's going to take him far less time to get back out to where he was. And so he will continue searching, and then he'll come back and reload up again and say, "Here's everything I found," and then he'll take off again. He's going to just keep doing that. But we are talking about months of exploration time not being hanging around in the UEE.
You want to get away.
Well, to take a Carrack and fly out that direction with as many people as it takes to crew that ship, that would be damning my friends to go out on this possibly.
I would say I have.
No, they can jump in the NPC if as long as you're out there with NPCs, they can
style from the Matrix.
They can jump into one of your NPCs and help you.
That would mean I would have to take the NPCs with me, and I don't want to doom them to that either.
Poor guys.
They need love.
Sitting out there playing
I'm pretty damn good at sex, but not enough to keep 5 people happy.
You sure about that?
I mean,
I'll give it. Your NPCs?
I'll give it a good shot or two, but I'm just
I will say though, Trendane, that a lot of other people share your vision for exploration. You are not alone.
Oh, I
in
don't doubt
desire
that.
to
I
get
don't
away.
doubt that. But the chances that we're all going to want to go to the same places and explore the same way, not real good. So, plus, other explorers are in it for themselves to explore. And then we would have to go out. We would have to, God forbid, oh, Jesus, we would have to share the discovery. Oh, no, darling, no.
No,
I
all
don't
those
think.
guys in your ship, they're dogs. Just don't let them.
Don't tease. I swear. I just want a crew full of St. Bernards and Mastiffs. That would be so.
What about the
Big,
space slobber?
fluffy couch dogs that it's not a proper lap dog if it can't crush you. I'm sorry. That's why I refer to quarter horses as lap dogs.
Really now.
But, I mean, like you're saying about the Vanguard, you know, on the price point of it, even Ben on Reverse to Verse was talking about that they're even going through, you know, they're listening to forum feedback because of a lot of changes are going to be made to it because some people didn't like some of the deals. And also they said there's going to be pieces on it that's like any other ship going to be modular. So just the way it looks now is not necessarily how a person in the PU is going to look to them because they might actually add different types of turrets on it. You know, who knows, add different bits, pointy bits.
All right, let's move on to our final thingy.
Thingy.
Which, we're going to talk about before we start a question. By the way, everybody, we need your questions. We only do a question answer at the end of the show here,
Yeah, what the hell?
and we've
Pay
only
attention.
got 4 questions. 4.
What?
Oh,
What's up
I'll
with you
read them
people?
really
We
slowly.
need like 3 times that.
We need 3 times. Yeah, we need at least 1 million questions.
Yeah,
I'll read
at
them
least.
very, very slowly.
I'm good
I'll
at
do it.
math. Years 100. I don't know if you noticed.
Yeah, what's wrong with people? I mean, Trendane's going to read it. This is opportunity to hear his sexy voice.
Yeah, you could say anything and he'll read
That's
it.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Honest Trailers as an aside?
No, what is it?
Like, it's a YouTube channel
Oh
that
wait,
like
yes.
yeah,
They break
yeah,
it down into what would be like realistic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like you should, because the guy always advertises his epic voice. You should get into that and be like my silky smooth voice.
Like realistic.
And then I
trailers.
read everything like this.
Yes, exactly.
That'd be freaking hilarious. You probably get thousands of hits.
Now,
It'd be
guys,
awesome.
don't type it in
It'd
the
be an
channel because it
instant
goes. You know, the chat is going by so fast I can't read any of it. So, just go there. Click on the little button there, the bit.ly/Starcast, and we'll answer them there. By the way, we're getting ready to watch a replay of the launch of the Soyuz rocket in 2 minutes, and look at these Russian
Nice.
guys. They are just.
What?
That's a very phallic rocket.
Most are.
Let's say it.
Freud.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, it took a while from the rocket. Looks
I
like
once heard,
I'm sorry. It looks like a. Never mind. Looks like a butt plug.
Actually, I've heard
God.
similar comments about the freelancer.
Oh
Just
god. Visiting the black hole near you.
They don't
One
go
stop-
to the jump point for nothing.
One stop ship to Uranus. Clifford, you okay there?
Yeah, fine.
He's lost. We broke Clifford. All right, so finally we're talking about the community spotlight. We're looking at Polymatronic, name that just rolls off the tongue like butter.
Mm-hmm.
Polymatronic is awesome.
They are, and they are former Infinite.
Parrots.
What?
Parrots.
They are former parrots. Are they like parrots in like the real sense, or sort of the Jimmy Buffett parrot? What?
I figured it was a robot parrot. You know.
Polymatronic.
Polymatronic.
Yes,
Okay, I
thank you
get
for
it.
finally catching up.
Oh, jeez. Yes. And so yeah, this is former Infinite Shui Monkey.
Shui.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, they had the best ship in the Next Great Starship. If I can just throw that out there, like this ship was awesome, and now they're back and making more awesome things.
What I think is the best that highlights them the most, and I was talking to Domo about this, is their mechanical engineering of everything. How everything moves is by far one of the best out out of anybody. They're well thought out of how this should come out and flip out or attach to something. They just it's awesome.
They build the design with the implementation in mind. They don't make a model and then say, okay, how are we going to get it to work? Like, everything works because it's built that way. Like, I remember the same thing with their Next Great Starship entry. They had like a functioning medical table with probe arms that came out and could do all sorts of stuff, and it was really cool.
I can see. I just got the image of Trent on the table. Stop it! It's just rolling around.
Oh, it tickles.
So this is all in engine, right? These guys did this all in engine, I think. The shadows are a bit janky. I'll say that.
See, they even have a Canadarm. How cool is that?
Yeah, I mean, just that work pod, the repel vessel, is just awesome looking.
That I thought was actually the coolest part of the whole ship. Like, that was a stellar design for that work pod.
No pun intended.
Ah.
And just how it shows like the constellation, you know, attached to the side, and they're working on it. Sig, hire them, take the ship, please
hire them.
And take their other ship. You know, I mean, golly, you wouldn't have to, you know. I mean, I'm pretty sure just for them to have their ship in it, they would just take 10% of the earnings. I don't know. I mean,
there will be that system in game though when the game launches.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of like the Sony, like the Sony store, basically. You know, the content creators, and say, hey, you know, you build kind of like what Wingman's doing with Descent. You know, you build us a good enough asset. You know, we'll let you, split the profits, basically. I think that's a fabulous idea, and this might also give them a venue of how to fund the game, other than just, you know, selling UEC or something. This will be an additional possibility for them to make money along the way.
I don't want to pilot that thing.
It's huge.
Well, I mean, it's not.
It's capital class.
Look at where the bridge is. I mean, you got this huge diving board sticking out above your thing. You can't see past that.
I don't think you're meant to. It's a flying hospital ship. Like, you're meant to just plod along and pick up
sick people.
Space puppies who are
it's like how they
ejecting from Trent's ship when it blows up. Puppies everywhere
when it blows up.
Well, it's like they described that this would be a ship that would be back with, like, say, the Bengal carrier, not in the heat of battle yet, but be way in the back, and the ships would, you know, try and make it back to them to get repaired, get, you know, healed, or like the emergency cutlasses would be coming in, flying, and they're dropping people off and going back out into the field of battle.
Okay, I got to be a little controversial here. Infinite Shoe Monkey, whatever. They were part of the Next Great Starship, and had amazing, absolutely incredible, amazing mechanical things that they did with their ships. But their design skills, they just seemed a little meh. What do you guys think about that?
Like an aesthetic?
The aesthetic, exactly. The aesthetic was off on all of their things. What do you think? What do you think, YEARS100? What's your thoughts?
I could understand that. The infinite Shui? Is it Shui or Shu?
It's Shu, I guess. I call it Shui. That's the way it's spelled.
I liked their ship because of how it worked and their interior design.
Yeah.
The exterior wasn't super appealing, and even when I saw the hospital ship, I liked how it worked, and I liked the thought that went into
functionality.
Yeah. The design, again, like, when I saw it, it wasn't like a ship that I was like, ooh, I would buy that. I would pledge for that. Like, there have been other ships that have done that. Like, the 890J is one of my favorite ships. I just love its aesthetic. But you're right. I think it might just be my personal preferences. I know a lot of people were like, I was looking through the comments on Reddit and YouTube, and they're like, this is amazing. I would get one immediately. Just didn't do it for me. That doesn't underscore in my mind their talent, though.
Oh, true. No, like I said, their mechanical abilities are just fantastic. I love how it's all laid out. It's just aesthetically, it's like off, and I think, I don't know.
Well, and when I was talking to Dome about this, you know, I thought it was fine, or at least the medical one was fine, because you got to put yourself in the mindset, this is an Anvil ship. Look at the other Anvil ships. They're boxy. They're and it looks, it's got the cues from Anvil. You can look at it and see that yes, it could use maybe a little bit more work on it. But if they say if you married them up with a concept artist from SIG, you know, they got a concept from SIG to build, oh my god, and just say, hey, go wild on the interior, but this is what the outside looks like.
That would actually be really cool.
That would be a good marriage, I think, of their talents.
I'd like to see them design the Carrick interior. Like Grumach did an amazing job with the exterior, and then they would just go in and they would make it incredible. So, what are your thoughts, Trent? You've been quiet. You're kind of nodding at points, but
bacon. No, the point that you brought up was the key point that I was also going to make. That I agree with you. That I mean, when Ravana and I went down for the finale at the YouTube Spaces in LA, we were looking at the ships and whatnot, and we all pretty much agreed that. And if you watch the episode where they're doing the first walkthrough of the interior of Infinite Shumagi's thing, you know, they're going past the shield generators with the big glowing rings hanging down at the ceiling, and I immediately was like, oh. You know, and I mean, there was a sense, I mean, you could feel what it would have been like to be inside. You could hear it. Mm-hmm. You know, you could imagine what all this stuff, what the texture of the railing felt like. I mean, the interior design was absolutely gorgeous, and all of the judges said so, and I completely agree with them. But again, as everybody has mentioned thus far, the outside was definitely not the equal of the inside. The interior design is clearly where their strength really lies. And as I was looking at this video when it first was shown, I remember distinctly thinking, okay, now show me the inside.
Right.
Because that's what I want to see. I wanted to see the inside of this thing. Partly because I was like, you got a lot of stuff going on the outside of this ship. Can you fit everything that should therefore be going on? Can you fit it all in there? You know, I mean, that's how CIG ships wind up going from corvettes to frigates, because they're like, oh crap, we need to put this other thing. Okay, well, fuck, we got to make the ship bigger. And so it's like you soak it in water.
Not that I mind.
So same thing. I wanted to see the inside. That was my big thing. I want to see the inside of that ship.
They showed you a little bit. There was a second video that walked through it, kind of like on a deck by deck basis.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, it's on their
YouTube.
On their YouTube.
I will look for it. I will look for it after the base.
But also, I mean, it's like looking at this ship. You can tell, like, for instance, the rear, the engines could be a hell of a lot better than what they have presented there. It just because you look at, you know, say the Anvil Hornets engine, nice round, it's got good aesthetics to it when it's like actually working and everything. And those engines, as big as they are, they still look too plain. I think.
Well, maybe it would be good as you know, what would be really neat if they could take like the top 2 or 3 teams for the next great starship and then sort of like throw them together in a big room and just say, you guys come up with the next ship, you know, and don't make it officially sponsored by SIG, but do something like this where you could have the you know, Infinite Shumaki could do the outside, or not the outside, but the mechanical parts. Somebody else who's really good with like the style could have done the stylistic parts and just sort of merge everybody together in some sort of incestuous love fest thing.
I don't think that would work.
No, you don't think so? Too many different cooks in the kitchen?
Yeah, I think so.
That was actually my thought too.
You'll get the guys who do the interior who look at the outside and are like, what were you thinking?
Yeah.
I mean, not like, what were you thinking? But I mean, how were you thinking of the inside of this ship while you were designing the outside? Because I'm not sure how you want this thing to work like this.
Makes sense. Yeah.
They're gonna. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that they could do it, but there would be a lot of hurdles to overcome to get it to work right.
Yeah. All right. I guess it's good enough time to start Q&A time.
Okay. Good night. Oh, right. We had to do.
We had to do Q&A time. So, by the way, everybody, if you're just getting here, I mean, we had a little bit of a slow start tonight. I don't know. Everyone's off watching rockets being launched or something.
I guess.
But if you have any questions, please
Post them.
Yes, ask them of us. And here is the link to them. Oops.
Are we still simulcast on the base?
We aren't, because he's not. Yeah. He's not
No.
here right now. We are not being simulcast on.
Oh, sorry. I was reading the first question.
Oh, okay.
So,
The base.
we're not doing simulcast on the real alien. Oh, no, wait. That's not right. On
The base.
The base.
Is that your voice in all the ads and blips?
Not all of them.
A lot of them,
A
though.
bunch of them?
Me and Wolf and
blips. I'm just
some of the folks.
imagining the blips. Okay, never mind.
So
My turn.
it's a bit.ly/Starcast, all uppercase, and or you just click it on the link in the chat and just ask your questions in there. We'll get to them.
Some.
Some of them. Well, we're probably gonna get to all of them because usually we have at least 20 or so, and not too many tonight.
Got about 15.
Pretty quiet.
So, from the real alien.
Oh, the real one.
Yeah, as opposed to
Not
those
the fake one?
No, the fake one.
Fake
is-
sons of
yeah.
bitches.
He's not here. Okay.
Rubbery ones. Like the Van Duel.
Oh, Senstar says the base was trying to contact us.
Oh, well.
Well, I don't know. I've got I can't when I'm doing the podcast. I have the screen completely filled. I can't even see the chat at all. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, base. Sorry.
From the real alien.
Mhm.
Did you guys see the Vanguard on Around the Verse, and what did you think of it? What have we been talking about?
Well, he wrote
How
that
awesome
probably
it
before
was.
we started because it was like
Yeah.
topic number 2. So
Yeah. So I
Nice.
really liked. Well, me. I
Lando,
like.
Lando, look, I'm not the only one with a dirty room when I'm on camera. Look, pay attention.
What? Don't
body
look
in
at,
that bed.
don't look at anything. Oh my gosh.
It's okay.
No.
You were totally safe because I'm showing the Vanguard right now.
Oh, you saved my
I
life.
saved your ass.
It's not my fault. Like,
Yeah, it's okay. And,
I
oh,
just-
seriously, yeah.
Gravity's fault.
Years 100, guys. You're in the military. Can I say that?
sure.
Just
Okay,
did.
he's
You
special
just
ops.
did. No,
And-
you can't say it. Take it back.
He's special ops. He works for SEAL Team Alpha 6 Bravo, and
I know them. Ooh.
yes, and he's the chef on their team. So
That was not the job I was expecting to hear from you.
right. So he came flying home like a crazy person. Within like 30 seconds, got on camera and everything, and so mega big hugs to his face for that.
And yet his hair is perfect.
Well, because he doesn't have much. And then so that's why his room is a disaster. Normally, it's very polished and
It's
clean.
actually a disaster because I just moved here
Oh,
about 2 weeks ago, and I'm still in the middle of unpacking, and that does horrible things for my desire to clean up everything.
The
Yeah,
Because I'm
military
like,
life.
I'm surrounded by junk and boxes. I don't want to like make my bed. Ew.
funny is Dave91 said in Vietnam you were Agent Orange.
How did he know? That was a secret.
He worked
Dum, dum, dum.
close by with Chuck Norris and the Duke.
Oh, this.
I don't know who the Duke is, but Chuck Norris and I are best bros.
You don't know who
We
the
gra-
Duke is?
every
Oh,
Duke.
Trendane, I feel old.
Where's-
I feel so old. John Wayne was the Duke. He was in the movie The Green Berets, which took place
I
in
saw that.
Vietnam.
I saw Berets as a kid. It's a good movie. Stop face palming.
It's
Oh,
okay. It
here
makes us
I need.
It
I
just bugs me because
This
I had
is-
a 19-year-old kid hitting on me last night.
I need
and he
to
had
post
no idea
this
who the Duke was either.
when
Did
when
go,
you were
Duke,
post.
Duke of Earl.
What are you saying, Clifford?
He's like, Clifford's got some crazy shit going on.
Oh
We're,
no,
like,
no!
stalling
So
him.
when you were saying, you were first. I wanted to post that link right there when he goes dun dun dun,
Dun, dun,
and then
dun.
I was going to
Dun,
post that because
dun.
that's the pug doing the. Oh my god!
Take his man card away. That's right. But in the first one, Blue Easy said was take his man hard.
From Pradormeyer, also basically the question was, what are your opinions on the Vanguard general design, which we kind of covered. Okay, so
Are we
Moving
going to go
on.
over it in case we missed it real
I
quick?
actually have a couple more questions.
We thought it was cool. Like, I thought it was cool.
Yeah, I think it's
It's
cool. I think-
formidable. It's worth the price. It's awesome.
Okay. What's
Made by Gurmok?
for in Atmo? Those big old jet turbines make tons of sense, but in outer space where there's no air, what are they for? It's like the
That's
fans on the front of
prettiness.
the
bringing in
of the
atoms,
Hornet.
bringing in atoms like solar array atoms or something.
A
sucked
fan
into
doesn't
the-
work in space.
I
it does
will
just as
say
good.
that in the future, planetary exploration and atmospheric flight are down the lines once they have their procedural generation tools completed sometime after the launch of the persistent universe. So ideally, these ships will be able to function in atmosphere and in
Oh,
space.
yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's for atmosphere.
I think it's sort of like when you plug a headphone into a microphone jack and you sit there and you talk into it because you can't afford to get a real microphone kind of thing. And so what you do is you use them when you're in Atmo. When you get outside the atmosphere, you reverse the feeds and they become wave motion cannons. And they just and they fucking vaporize anything in front of you. That's what I think they are.
That
So
sounds
like
good.
Iron Man suit from
Kind of, yeah.
Iron Man suit would be awesome.
But I like how it looks more when it's folded up. When you're doing that long range, I like how it folds up and gives you a more streamlined silhouette when you're like looking at it. So you know, yeah, that's what I like about the silhouette they got. How they made it. Yes,
Streamlined silhouette's very important in space. But on radar, yes, it could be.
Heaven knows the benefits from that.
From Stylus Check or Stylus, I can never remember how to pronounce his name.
Stilla.
Stylus?
I call him Stilla Check.
I like stylus check.
But there's an extra S in there that you're not pronouncing.
But
Anyway, from that dude. Why does my Aurora LN keep bugging out? Actually, they kind of talked about this, I think. The doors keep getting stuck in the animation. Whenever I sit in the cockpit, I sit under the seat, not in the seat, and my character animations keep bugging out too. All this was in the hangar. I will try outside of it.
They changed the Aurora's design philosophy. They felt that sitting in the seat wasn't immersive enough. They wanted you to sit below it.
Right.
So it's actually an intentional design change there.
It uses a tachyon emission field to allow you to float through metal at that point.
Now, my first question would be, did you simply patch up to 1.1 or did you do what they said and delete it and completely reinstall it?
Look at Trendane with his big
You're
head.
so sassy.
No, but he's got he's probably got a really good tech support thing, and this is coming from Trendane. He's probably right.
Well, he is right.
Second, on Around the Verse, they were talking about, in addition to that, they were talking about some of the, there was something that was causing, so you would have some FPS issues and it would...
And the guns, too. Mounting on it.
This sounds like another episode of Bug Smashers, or something that could be on Bug
Yeah, it probably will be. But yeah, he even reiterated that on Reverse to Verse. Ben was talking about, well, some guns are able to mount on it that ain't supposed to be able to mount on it. So there's a bunch of glitchy issues with the Aurora right now.
I would love to see, like, an Aurora with, like, a capital ship cannon on it with all the physics in place, so you can fire it once.
Well, that's how you do deep space exploration, Trendane.
That's true.
You just fire
Oh my
it.
god, that's a good idea.
I think the only thing that could counteract a blast like that is if you put like a gun like that on the Herald, because it has the big ass one engine in the back, so it'd be able to counteract the thrust that it would.
Engine thrusting forward, the gun crushing, smash it like a Coke can.
Yeah.
Crunch.
I actually found a third problem that I don't know if you've considered. The third question is, why haven't you upgraded to like a Delta or a Freelancer? That's the other thing. Leave the Aurora behind in the dust.
Oh, you're calling him out. The poor man. He has no money. He lives on the street, and he has just enough money. He plays Star Citizen on his Amiga 500.
You can switch it for free.
If you're living in the street, I think worrying about your computer is a bigger deal than Star Citizen.
No, that's not right. He's actually playing Star Citizen on an abacus that he made out of trash cans.
Trash can lids.
You can switch them for free. You can switch them in and out. They got that free deal where you can swap the Aurora with a Mustang and vice versa. The only reason why I rather choose... I like flying the Delta a lot, but I would probably choose the Aurora any day over a Mustang. The reason why because I'm not that great at flying. So me as not being as great as flying and being able to dodge, bullets and missiles and stuff, the Aurora can take a lot more hits than the Mustang can.
That's true.
So it's that balance again. What are you willing? More, slick maneuverability maybe, or just you can take heavy hits on your ass.
And that's why I'm kind of with the dynamic between Mustangs and Deltas, Mustangs and Auroras that you're describing right now. I'm really excited to see where the Reliant fits into all this, the third starter ship.
Is it that the Miss? Oh, yeah. Oh,
that was Miranda class.
So that's going to be cool.
Yeah, because it's going to have the Xi'an technology in it, right?
Yes. Yep. And it's a two-seater.
Oh, yeah, that's even better.
So it's designed to be all slick and shiny and cool looking.
I can sit next to Trendane.
Absolutely.
While he explores in deep space.
He doesn't want you there, Clifford. Get the fuck out.
I didn't say that. I said you shouldn't do that. Because I might get confused.
Get the fuck out.
No, I might. Because
Well, I'm going to have no. You won't get confused because I'll have a female avatar. So there you
why
go.
would I let you on my show?
I was going to say, dude, you're shooting yourself in the foot with that.
Damn it. Well, okay, I'll make a male and a female.
Okay.
Combined, like a
Right, yeah.
I don't know if we can do that yet.
Well, why not? I mean, we're talking hundreds of years in the future.
900 years.
900 years in the future.
You get bionic implants for that?
So I can have the jiggly bits and the other bits, and
you can have all the bits.
All the jiggly bits.
All the bits everywhere.
You have fur
on your face. Why not?
That is true. If my character wore a fursuit, would you let me on your ship?
Hell yes. I mean, maybe.
Now I know the secret.
Yes.
That'll be your Trojan horse. Somebody will come with like something dressed in fur, and they'll blow up your ship from within. You'll be like, worth it.
Just like we're gonna do with Core, with his Idris. We're gonna sneak on board and just be shh.
You okay there, Trent?
Yep. Okay.
From Dave 91.
Yes, move on. Let's do it, Dave.
But
do you guys think that
Yeah.
Try that again in English. Do you guys think that CIG underestimate the desire of many players to wage war, limiting it to outer systems, not giving good things to fight for planets, orbital stations, etc.?
I see what he's saying. He's saying basically like there is no real incentive.
I'm not finished yet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Ooh.
As an officer of one of the biggest organizations,
he had
it
to
really
throw
bothers
his dick
me.
out.
That's why I stopped you.
That's
I
why
hadn't gotten
Trent
to the
noticed
dick yet.
him.
Okay.
I had to get to the dick, so that's why I had to stop you. One of the biggest organizations, it really bothers me that we won't be able to get rid of our rivals.
I think
I will say Test Squadron is one of the biggest, but they don't really worry about that thing, do they?
they're about 5th or 4th in member.
Doesn't even
member.
matter right now. It's still, we are so far away
know,
from the
but I love
persistent
that
universe.
Pocket Sticks.
Everyone's just like, I have such an org. My org is so big. But I get what
Compensating
regardless
for
of
much?
regardless of that part, it is kind of curious to see how this is all going to play out. I mean, if I really dislike Trendane, okay, and I want to myrtleize him, the only place I can do that is sort of outside the UEE space. And if you can't really have, what's that?
Nothing. I'm just looking at my who's the biggest org list, and they're 4th actually. Last time I checked.
Testicle?
Yes, test. Imperium's the first. Explorer, LTT, test, and then Lamp.
Okay.
Lamp.
So,
Okay.
Lamp is all hail the Lamp. But anyway, I get what they're saying, because you can't really have a war, but you can. You think about it this way. Currently, right now in the world, there are things called gangs. What Trendane?
No, I need to stop reading Twitter. I'm sorry.
Okay, stop with the Twitter.
Yeah.
Anyway, there are gangs, and gangs still can have wars outside of the law. They kind of have to, subvertively attack somebody from behind another planet. When the Crips are attacking the Bloods out in space, they will do it subvertively. They won't shoot somebody in front of a cop. They'll wait till the cop kind of drives around the corner to the bacon store, and then attack. Go ahead.
So there's.
I'm sorry. I thought you were waiting to say something. Okay, YEARS,
No,
go
I
ahead.
was just pouring one.
Oh,
Well,
wait,
Clifford tried to say
Well,
something.
yeah, I was saying you're saying that there's nothing for them to wage war about or something, because I mean, one, they can go into lawless space if they want and wage war against each other, saying, "Hey, we really want to take you on, Test versus Imperium. Let's go out. Let's plan a day, go out to this section and wage war." And they could do that if they want to.
Day.
But
Today War Day after
National
Tuesday.
War Day.
But the other thing they're forgetting
War
is they've
Wednesday.
already said that later on in an expansion in the future, the Vanduul are going to wage war on Earth. They're going to go towards Earth, and that's going to be where you're really going to be able to, show your military might.
Yeah, but
I think what they want is to be able to say, we fight for control of Terra.
yes.
And I would say that I've not seen anything in the development process that would say you couldn't do that. But then I would field the question, can your organization, however big it is, handle that? Because if you want to take on the UEE, you gotta field a lot of firepower to take them on. Like, despite the fact that they're aging, kind of like the Roman Empire is the example CIG has thrown around. Despite that, like, they're still really powerful. They have a dreadnought. So something that's really interesting is that the Bengal carrier has what's called a ship buster railgun. It's a huge anti-capital ship gun. And then they have a super dreadnought class ship in the UEE that fields a series of these ship class busters, or these shipbuster guns. And the Bengal carrier is 1.1 kilometers long. So they have a ship that has a bunch of what the Bengal carrier is designed around. That's freaking huge. If you can take that on, all the more power to you. But I would say that the constraint isn't CIG letting you. It's whether or not you can actually do that. Like, can you take on maybe?
Davian Goliath. Davian Goliath. You don't need a big ship. You just need one little thing. Get in there.
But like in Star Wars.
Yeah, just look for that port. It's probably right up the chuff.
Well, they even said
torpedo.
Well, they already mentioned that you can go, that there's going to be jump gates and jump points that aren't heavily guarded or whatever, that they can take control of an area. You know, they said they're going to have that mechanic in there to where there's going to be certain areas that you can take control of, or abandoned space stations too. They said that there is going to be abandoned space stations that if they can take control of it and make that their base, and then there's their opening for other orgs like Test or somebody else to come along and saying, hey, we're going to take you on and take that from you. There you go. There's your gameplay.
And kind of what you were saying earlier, Clifford, later on, post-launch sometime, you're going to be able to build space stations, is the goal of CIG. So there will be ways to expand your empire. Just gotta... What the...
Sorry about that. I was trying to refresh the Soyuz rocket launch.
Hello, Daddy-O.
I'm really just trying to get to the point where I can show you guys the freaking capsule that these bastards are flying in right now. I'm just waiting for it to come up on the screen because they've already launched, and I'm hoping to show the crew capsule. They've got these, at least all you can see is about 2 to 3 guys, and their hands are like this, and they're packed with like stuff around their heads, around all their body, their shoulders and everything. They can barely move because they've taken all this stuff. They're going to live up there on the space station for a year, and they have like no room to move. Like, I'm claustrophobic as hell, man, and they got this stuff pushing against their head. They can't move. Sitting in a capsule like that for days, just trying to get up there and get everything set up to
I would die.
Hook up. I would freak the fuck out, man.
Well, the American astronaut is actually in a somewhat lucky situation because he's the furthest to the right in the seating thing, and he's kind of crushed up against the window, so he can at least look out the port.
He got the window seat, man.
That's nice.
I've always wondered, what if you like go
Yeah.
for one of those missions and like you forget your toothbrush? Like, do you just suck it up and go for a year without
You
a
will
toothbrush?
have some-
Or like, will they
You will have some
rocket?
fuzzy goddamn
toothbrush
fuzzy
up to you?
No. This is a
moss
great
growing
question.
out of your mouth.
No, this is a great question. A toothbrush? Print it. Because they have a
In
3D
space?
printer up there now on the ISS.
What about bristles?
You could like print little bristles. I mean, you could get away with it. You could make something.
You want your gums to bleed?
Well, yeah, but you come back with like super sharp teeth like a Klingon.
You just sew pubic hair into the 3D printer.
Oh no!
Oh,
no!
God.
No!
Yeah.
Can we focus?
No.
Jesus
okay, back to
Christ.
Okay, sorry. Okay, questions.
No, I was with regard to controlling an area. I found myself thinking, imagine like a not necessarily a pirate group or something, but like a ne'er-do-well group, whatever, who goes out and they find every rock, and ship hull and just space junk that they can find, and they just seed the entire area in front of the exit point of a jump corridor, so that you come out, bam, and you go straight into something.
Why not, right?
Just mine the entire area with just crap.
Well, that's why a lot of people didn't want the mine layer a while back when we were able to vote on it, because they're like, oh, griefers will destroy everything.
Exactly.
All you'd have to do in that case is make the mines incredibly unstable if they're anywhere near a jump point.
They start vibrating rapidly, and then
they
explode.
Just explode, so you can't mine a thing. There would have to be a safety buffer.
But could you imagine if you then did seed all around it? Like, that would create a lot of intense gameplay.
No, if they have a mine layer, they're going to have an anti-mine disabler, which they can shoot out, and maybe these little quills or whatever that will go out and set them off. So you go nowhere near them. I bet you they'll make some kind of anti-mine.
Radial mag pulse.
Yeah, something like that.
Sounds
Something
good to
that
me.
will just, before you...
Or an EMP, maybe.
Yeah.
Turns them
It
off.
disables them, yeah. But
Presuming
you
they're not-
have... But also, you got to think on top of this, you would have to have the radar to detect the mines, and that might be an extra cost to have that on your capability on your ship, too. So it'll add some more gameplay in there.
Could you imagine a water pick in space?
Yes.
Be like, oh, pew 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 pew, shooting out little globules that are floating around.
All them quills.
It's really kind of. Have you ever watched someone with just a rag full of water wring it out in zero
space?
gravity?
Yeah, just kind of.
That is some freaky looking
just
shit.
like this
man.
amorphous blob.
It just crawls all
Yeah.
over your hand, and it's like, oh. I mean, it's kind of.
This is the guy who just described a toothbrush made of pubic hair.
Hey, I have no problem with pubic hair. I have a problem with drowning and being enveloped in water and not being able to get out.
Yeah, right. Could you imagine? It's like a half
Yes.
inch of water could kill you if it somehow like got on your face, like a face hugger.
Like that crab did
Got in
on
your nose.
bulkheads.
Fallacy, $35.
From Pappy Boynton, did you see that? Oh, do you think that CIG will cave once again with all the whining about the Vanguard versus the Super Hornet?
No.
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 Okay, there we go. From Caged Geek, are you worried that Star Citizen will become inaccessible to latecomers like what happened with EVE Online?
Yes, I am 100% worried, and I'll tell you why. Because
Go for
a
it.
game that I started playing recently, last year, I'm strong about this, Clifford. I saw this question, and I was like, I want to answer this question. I've been waiting for it. Because a game that I started playing last year, I was really into, loved it to death. I was doing just fine with it. I took about 2 months off to stream other games, and when I came back to it, I can't play it anymore. It's
Why?
Elite Dangerous. Because the game expanded away from me. It changed so much. The drastic base gameplay moved, and it shifted so far to where now when I want to go play and I can't play that same game anymore, people go, oh yeah, you can, because I did space trucking, right? That's all I did. Pick up stuff, drop it off somewhere else. It got to be so difficult for me to even do the basics of it because, yes, there are websites that you can go to that you can look up your prices. Yes, there's places you can go to and you can use the map and blah, 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 all of that stuff. It didn't exactly stay the same, and it's in the place is so big. 400 billion stars is a lot of places to try to figure out where you're going to sell your blue jeans at, so it got to the point where it was very, very difficult for me to try to do it. Now I probably could go back and learn it, but to try to do something on the stream that I used to just automatically hop in and do some space truck, and it was a lot of fun, very laid back, is gone. And so I think that's what I'm worried about with Star Citizen is if
Could
somebody
I flip this around?
Yeah, absolutely.
though,
Yeah,
and
go
say like when you first picked up the game, I tried Elite Dangerous and it wasn't intuitive to me.
Okay. I
So-
actually thought it was when it started, but
Oh.
Trendane
well-
played it too.
I was going to say, is maybe the learning curve that you first encountered with Elite Dangerous what you had to possibly overcome again when you came back, or was it worse the second time around? Like, does that make any
Second
sense?
time around, yeah, it was definitely worse
Okay.
the second time around because the UI didn't change so much. I could still fly the ship. It was I was space trucking, so I had no. Especially when you're starting out, you got 1,000 credits. Well, if you get lost out there, you're going to use up those 1,000 credits just trying to get back, and then what are you going to do? So what they were basically saying is go out and do missions where you farm or you do mineral mining or you go and hunt other players, and that's, to me, I didn't want to do that. That's not the way I like to play.
What I would do, I think one of your problems is Domo is that time, of course, having the time to actually go in and just play it.
Well, but this
you want to be able.
correlation with Star Citizen is exactly the same thing. This is what this all is all about. If somebody is playing Star Citizen and doesn't have the time to play, and the game changes so much that when they come back to it, it's no longer that same game. I think that's what the question was asking.
How do you foresee the game changing, possibly?
Who knows? I mean, I would have never thought that. When I heard 400 billion stars for Elite Dangerous, I was like, oh yeah, we got so much space to go check out. It's going to be infinite. I'll play this game forever, and I'll never find the same place twice. That switched, and while it sounded like a great idea on paper, when it showed up, and now you can go visit all 400 billion stars. It's so much. It's mind-bogglingly complex, and who knows in Star Citizen. Oh yeah, they're going to be adding some jump points to this new system, and we're like, yay, jump points, new system, it's going to be great. And then we're like, shit, somehow that changes the basic part of the game.
Well, I could see how Star Citizen will be probably more difficult. So, because Elite Dangerous, you don't really got a lot there right now. Which when Star Citizen comes out, you'll have way more because a lot of it's more handcrafted. So a lot of their systems are way more complex.
100 systems versus 400 billion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other factor is that with Elite Dangerous, when we were in the beta, Domo and I both, you started out, you had 5 systems in the beta.
Clifford.
And when they went to the second layer of the beta, they expanded that to 50 systems.
Which was still manageable.
It was still manageable, but the point was that, you had to pick up this and take it here, and then pick up that and take it there, pick up that and take it there, and pick up that and take it back to the beginning. And it was you could plan a nice, neat little route. Mm-hmm. The way that it's designed now is that the farther you take something, the more money you make for it. Because, yes, all these little areas here, they're very simple, fast jumps. It's very easy for people in this local neighborhood to get all the supplies they need. If you want to make profits, you got to go from here over there, way the hell over there. Mm-hmm. And the other problem that I think you have, Domo, Clifford, you touched on it, but I think there was another element to the fact of having time. You, Domo, if you want to get back into Elite Dangerous, you need to not stream.
Yeah.
Don't stream it. Just you sit down and play, because you divide your attention between interacting with your audience and playing the game. You will never pick it up again. You will never go back to it.
Yeah.
You are going to have to just screw the audience for a while. Once you're done doing that, close the door and leave them outside, and then play the game.
And then come back and you're broke.
Mind are on the same track all the time.
See, I don't really foresee Star Citizen becoming inaccessible, because, so say I start out when it first launches, which I fully plan on starting out when it first launches, and I'm exploring the world, and I engage in exploration. Now, here's actually where you will see the game universe change, is that Chris has said he wants there to be persistence. Mm-hmm. So when an asteroid field is mined out, it's gone. But then again, me and Nikara from Imperial News Network, we were doing some calculations, and we calculated it would take you 500 years to cross the entire Star Citizen universe if you just went at the M50's 280 meters a second.
It's pretty quick.
You just went that fast. There's a lot of space. And I think that Star Citizen is being designed that 5 years down the line, we'll have explored 25% of it. But it's still all handcrafted, which means that it isn't just thrown out there. CIG is making areas for players to explore, and they're designing it so that people can pick it up and check it out. And they'll be actively monitoring it. I will say that they have some ideas for game moderation that I can't really talk about, but they have some ideas for game moderation that would be deliberately designed to include both new and old players into exciting events in the universe.
Okay. Questing, like local quests that they could do.
Yeah. Or I know they have said in the past that they want their GMs to create events for players and stuff like that. And so it's designed to be expanding. Yes, it's designed to have persistence, but it's also designed that, say someone comes in 2 years down the line, the biggest difference they'll probably notice is more players flying beefier ships. But they can set that PvP slider down to almost 0 and continue on playing the game however they want to. So there will be a lot of player control. Yeah, it's a brilliant feature.
And then go ahead, Clifford.
Oh, no, you go this time.
I was going to say, the other thing is that people need to remember that turning down the PvP slider means you won't run into as many players.
Player pirates.
There's a tremendous amount of NPCs. We said 10 to 1, was it?
Right, they're going to wipe out you.
That will not be affected by your PvP slider at all.
So you can still get attacked by NPC pirates then.
Right.
Yes, absolutely. But you won't have players ganking you and then teabagging you.
And then spaceship teabagging is terrible.
Oh, well, no, spaceship.
And then also, touching like you're saying about the special event stuff, also when they found, I see them also throwing in, once they get the procedural planet down, because eventually they want people to be able to go down on a planet and actually mine for resources, or actually maybe make a home on a planet. But I can see those procedural planets being thrown in certain systems that are already there, and say, okay, we're going to pop one procedural planet there, one procedural planet there, and there, a couple in this system, and just let the players just find them, and they'll be there, And that's going to add even hints of new gameplay.
Plus, things like wormholes, those will eventually devolve over time. CIG has stated they want, even if like a wormhole Trendane, say you chart a wormhole, 6 months later, the idea is that possibly it's collapsed in and on itself, and somebody will have to go through that and chart it a new course through it. And so the game is designed to constantly reinvent itself, or refresh itself, I should say, not reinvent. It's designed to constantly be saying, okay, hey, there's an open and inviting universe for you to explore. Hop to it, you know?
I'm trying to think of the best analogy to put to this. Because what it makes me think of is like if you got a sink full of water or the bathtub or something, and you pull the plug out of it, and eventually the water will start to spiral, and you'll get that little air tornado down
thing,
the thing, and eventually it destabilizes because something stirs up the water or whatever. And for a second it just kind of disappears, but eventually it reestablishes and it starts doing it again. And you could be talking about exactly the same thing. Maybe a rogue body, like a planet that got cast off billions of years ago, passes between you and whatever star you're trying to jump to, and it disrupts the jump corridor when it passes through. But it reestablishes later. But it reestablishes with a completely different corridor pattern, and so you have to chart it all over again. Same kind of thing.
All right, good. That was a good topic there.
Yeah, that was a good question. That was a really good question.
Yeah.
So let's go with a less good question.
Less good question.
From Bozo Rex. Ha! Freaking clown.
Cyberwolf, by the way, we got about 100 questions from him by now.
Yeah, now.
What's
what pet do you? We've actually kind of covered this before. What pet do you guys want to see implemented for Star Citizen, Pug? Not necessarily what you would like to get. And a follow-up question is, name one pet peeve, pun intended, other games use in regards to pet mechanics.
Right now, Black Desert has just released a whole bunch of pets, and they look amazing. They got little puppies and kittens and stuff like that. I really want one of those little crabs that ate your face, Trendane.
It wasn't my face.
Oh, your character's face.
It was Zeta's.
Yeah, Zeta's face. I think any kind of cool thing. Obviously, little dog would be fun to have fly around, but I think we talked about this once another time, because Trendane, you want a flat cat, right?
Flat cat.
Yeah.
What's a flat cat?
I want a babel fish.
Just put it in your ear and let it sit there and be happy all day long.
Exactly.
Talking to the Bono. The flat cats are from one of the high gravity planets in the system, and
I couldn't hear you.
I'm sure that's okay. It's probably just your net connection. So anyway, they have sensor nubs, and I just think it would be funny to have a flat cat wrapped around me like a fox stole or something. Just rubbing its sensor nub like some kind of a bond developing. Hello, Mr. Lando. We meet again.
A nude flat cat.
Geek Domo, you wanted the fish?
I would love a babel fish, yes.
You'll never see it.
Never see it. But it would be mine. I would call him George. And I'd take him out every once in a while and pet him.
You will love it and pet and stroke it.
YEARS100, it still has a look on his face. He has no idea what a babel fish is.
Accidentally stick a Q-tip in there and kill it.
Babel fish is from the Hitchhiker's...
I know, Babelfish is an internet translation website.
Well, yeah, that's before Google took it over with that. But Babelfish is from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, is a fish that you would shove in your ear. They're very friendly. You'd stick it in your ear, and it would attach itself to your eardrum. And any language that was spoken anywhere in the universe was taken in by the fish's tail, translated, and spit into your eardrum. And so it basically...
That's why that website's named that.
Exactly why that website was named that.
It was proof that God must exist, because how the hell would something like that ever evolve?
Right.
And with proof of God, there was no longer a need for faith. Without faith, God doesn't exist. And
there it goes. God's gone. God was killed by his own conundrum.
Puff of
Creation.
Puff of logic killed God. Groot. Yes. Groot would be a fun pet.
Groot would be awesome.
The little one.
The little baby Groot, just a dancing Groot? Yeah.
I'd kind of like a space turtle at some point.
A floating one, the Altoon, with a Discworld sort of thing floating on his back.
gigantic freaking turtle.
Once
There's
again,
so
Years
many-
100 is like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
I feel so lost.
I'm sorry. Terry Pratchett, who just passed away last week. Rest in peace, Terry. He wrote a Discworld series, and there's a great space turtle with 5 elephants standing on its back, and there's a disc riding on the 5 elephants.
Oh no, I have seen that.
Yeah.
I've seen a picture.
It's a great Altoon.
Yep.
So sorry, I will
No, I
stop
was
with the
not thinking
random
that.
things, and I'll just stop with
No,
the
I
randoms.
appreciate your knowledge of pop
Useless
culture.
pop.
If somebody's going to have a Grootling, I want a Rocket Raccoon as my.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
By that I mean
Yes.
husband on board the.
That would be great.
So when you watched Guardians of the Galaxy,
His hands were busy all day long.
They were wiping tears away from my eyes.
I gotta watch that movie again. I love that movie.
I
That's a great
will not
movie.
watch it again.
Really?
I don't know of any pet peeves as far as pet mechanics that I hate from other games. I can't really think of one.
oh shoot, I forgot about that.
Yeah, the pet peeve part. Yeah.
The follow-up question. So I think that
Alright.
pretty well covers it.
Constantly
Um,
to feed them, I guess that would be an annoyance.
I think that'd be
God
cool.
forbid you should have to feed your pets.
Yeah,
He just
dude.
wants space protein.
No. This isn't Neopets.
My pug is going to be super smart. It'll know where the food is kept. It can go get its food and all that good stuff.
Unless, of course, it doesn't. I think pet mechanics. I think it's annoying when like you play an MMO and you just double click it and it pops out and then it's gone and it's not really there. It's just kind of like eye candy. Like I actually think it would be cool to feed and like maybe not like you have to visually like hand it food to eat, but like provide for it. I think it'd be cool to interact with it. Like that would just be fun in my opinion. Because I don't want a cat that just sits on the bulkhead or the dash. I want it to be something that I'm petting while, like Trendane was saying earlier. So
Then what they need to do, if you got people who don't like to feed their pets because they're mean,
Don't buy a pet.
evil, nasty Texans, what you do is you buy in the Voyager Direct store, you sell a little holographic emitter that sticks to the ceiling of your appliance or whatever, and it basically creates a holographic Tamagotchi that follows you around.
There you go.
And just
Holographic
sit there.
pets never die, unless they get corrupted viruses or something like that, which they had to be put down.
it's actually a really good idea. Like have a
Could be.
hologram
Or
generated in the
AI
ship.
pet.
And then you could have
And then-
Clifford could have his Miku following him around that he could
You
molest.
could.
He could molest.
That would be
Shade
badass.
the
animals.
windows. Oh my God, shade the windows.
That would be badass.
Wait. So in Star Citizen, we're going to be able to make skins and custom emblems. Is that going to be yours? It's just going to be plastered all over your ship?
God,
Just
yes.
Miku?
But
Naked
I'm going to have a
Mikus.
freaking javelin. It's going to be painted in her blue colors. It's going to have her on the side of it saying, "Happy time coming your way."
So when you die, you know you've been killed by the Miku.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's got a freelancer that's already pink, and Miku's in the back riding
See,
Writing what?
the big pink freelancer.
I just you say, oh, that's right. In the game we're going to be able to make skins, and I immediately jump to Silence of the Lambs.
Oh,
I'm like,
puts the
lotion
on the skin.
exactly.
Busted it.
on the skin.
But with the holographic pet thing, you got a little hollow pug that's following you around all the time until you're about to get boarded, and then you push a button and it turns into a freaking dragon.
A werewolf.
It just goes back at the pirate's like,
So
shit! And run.
Nice.
That should be the
From-
next Pieces of 8 sequel.
It should.
The pirate's bored and they get scared away by a holographic dragon. It'd be
That
great.
From Yoko Rose. How much ballroom dancing does 100 Years really like? And what's his favorite type of ballroom
You were
dance?
paying attention. Wow.
Well, I
okay.
popped your screen up about 100 times now, so hopefully they have been.
So, ballroom dance. I majored in college in political science, but one of my minors was dance, focusing on ballroom instruction. So, I actually taught ballroom dance for 2 years at the beginner/intermediate level. So, I've done everything from waltz, tango, foxtrot, cha-cha, swing, merengue, East Coast, West Coast, salsa.
Wow.
Trendane really
cetera.
likes the
My-
foxtrot.
He would. I'm actually not a big fan of foxtrot. I'm sorry, Trent.
It's a very simple dance. My
heart
wife
goes
and
out
I did
to
it for our wedding. Then
Oh,
then
really?
then we waltzed. Yeah.
Waltz is one of my favorites, along with East Coast swing. The West Coast swing holds a special place in my heart.
I don't know the difference between either one, but we did West Coast. We did swing.
East Coast is you can kind of go wherever you want,
Yeah.
and West Coast is in a slot. So you move forward and backwards, and you move in this slot, and you don't stray beyond
See,
that.
the thing was, is we totally tripped over that because I've never danced. My wife never danced. And so we had our wedding, and then we had been taking dancing lessons for about 6 months. And so by the time we actually went to our wedding, we actually could dance. And people were like, oh, and it was cool. It was a cool moment that we actually walked on the floor, and they're like, oh, they're just expecting you to do this sort of like thing where people do kind of rock back and forth on the floor. We actually could dance, and it was fun.
Call it
For those of you who have seen American Sniper, you may know the woman Elise Robertson, who was she played Debbie in the movie. She used to be a director on a kids show that I was on called Adventures with Kangaroo, and there was one point I was taking some tapes out to the production trailer to put them away, and she was talking about swing dance, and she had some music playing, and while I was walking through, I just kind of, just when she's like, wait a minute, come back here, and I'm like, whoa, no. So she starts trying to teach me to swing dance, and I'm like, I started getting incredibly self-conscious about it. I was like, no, there's a woman touching me, no, seriously, she was one of the first people to tell me that I should do voice acting, because we were doing she was trying to get the guy who played Kangaroo to do the robot from Lost in Space. And I said, just go into the thing, grab the air conditioner hosing, and just fly it around. I was like, danger, Roy Orbison. And she's like, that's the voice I want. And so she dragged me into the studio, and we got in front of the mic, and then she said, you should really do this for a living. And
that's awesome.
Okay. I actually just I emailed her like day before yesterday. And she was like, good for you. Go do that thing. Onward and upward. I'm like, yeah, okay, fine. Thanks. Sorry. Anyway,
That's fine.
Are we done with that?
Yeah, that's cool. Let's move on, yeah. We actually have questions now because Cyberwolf showed up. We have 478 questions now.
Yeah, exactly. I've just been watching.
We were sitting at 5 for a bit.
What's that?
We were sitting at like 5 questions for a bit.
We were, and now it has exploded.
Now Cyberwolf is here, so.
Yeah, I can't see.
From Pratermeyer, Clifford, how many Vanguards are you going to buy?
I'll just have 2, probably.
Okay.
Just 2.
And he also asked, where's Cyberwolf 74? That's already been answered. He's here apparently now. From Tactiker88, when do we get the Trendane show? Never. And thoughts on auto landing?
Like on planets?
I presume. Where the hell else are you going to land?
Everywhere.
Well, there's an auto landing on the platforms now that you can do if you want to.
I'm fine with it.
It's cool to me.
It's nice to have
yeah, if you either use it or not, and especially on the bigger ships, they have auto landing.
Mm-hmm. On planets, down the line, when they become procedural, whenever that is, it's said that they'll try to figure out a way for you to be able to land manually. The key challenge is not having players become jerks and start test squadroning into the planet. Not that if that makes any sense.
Like the Reign of the Thousand
So they're trying to figure out ways around that, but the goal is that you could land on the planet yourself. Right now, the planetary landing is masking the streaming of data from loading the planet compared to when you're in space. However, I was able to talk to an IT guy at South by Southwest who works for CIG, and they're trying to look at ways that they wouldn't have to need that anymore.
I also think that if your ship has been damaged and maneuverability is limited, that basically ground control will tell Major Tom, no, you, according to our scans, you cannot control that ship. No, you are hands off. Go get a can of refried beans and just eat it in the galley. You are not landing that ship here. We will do it or get the hell out.
Right.
Isn't that what's going to happen anyway? I'm sorry I missed part of the conversation. But as you're landing, isn't it supposed to take over?
Depending on where it is.
Well, the one video that they did show, the first persistent universe video when they land, and they came in close, and then basically they said, "Hey, we're landing," and it's okay. We now have control of your ship.
Yeah, EDL.
Yeah. Because in lore, basically they stated that one time before it was automated, they had people could just land themselves, and then they had like a huge catastrophe where a massive ship tried to land and it crashed and it killed like a bunch of innocent people. And so then from then on, they made laws regarding planets that you have to let the computers land you. So that's the current lore explanation for why planetary landings are automated right now.
Sounds good to me.
which could make a very interesting bit of. They could do it in maybe in Squadron 42. I don't know why they would, but they could have sort of a quest where you're out, your landing computer gets damaged, and you can't do EDL. And basically the control tower is telling you turn to this vector, this rate of speed, and they are telling you exactly how to maneuver. Mm-hmm. That would be really cool. That would be fun.
And in a single player environment, that could work.
Right.
Drunk drivers flying into planets ruin the fun for everyone.
Turn to 43 degrees. Okay. That's negative 43 degrees. Oh.
Sort of had a freaking Pan-Galactic Argo Blaster just a minute ago.
It's drinking a Savaran Ghost. That's supposed to be in your hangar. Don't drink and land.
She was so cute.
Oops.
From Pappy Boington, with FPS delayed, do you think they should add a few more weapons, shields, and other bits and pieces to the Arena Commander stores so that people can explore more options on what works for them and their favorite? Okay, spelling was woo on that. Ship.
So, should they add more goodies to the
I don't think
AC store?
No, I think people should be patient.
Yeah, just let it.
I agree.
Adding more stuff probably could add more problems. I mean, of course, like little accoutrement pieces probably aren't going to make too much of a difference. But
you will find Monsieur Demeuse. It is pronounced accoutrement.
I did say accoutrement.
No, you didn't. You said accoutrement.
At first I did, and you were talking, and I said, all right, I'll just say accoutrement.
You said what? Crouton? No, I'm just kidding.
Crouton? What?
FPS looks like FPS is being delayed till sometime mid-April.
Yeah. They're having a lot of animation glitches at the moment. There's one, for example, where if your character lies down and then, because you can go prone, lies down and then rolls into a wall, he'll start like spasming into
yeah.
And then after he's done spasming, he stands up and goes into T formation. So like they're having a lot of issues like that, and which is why they're delaying it. But also, honestly, in the meanwhile, they're having enough trouble getting 1.1 working properly.
We never talked about that tonight because we just sort of skipped over. No, it's fine. Please do. There is some issues going on with 1.1. If you guys are watching this 6 months from now, this is probably moot. But yeah, right now they're having a hard time with it. They're also having to add more servers because of the explosion of people wanting to play.
Oh yeah, they got at least 30 to 40,000 new accounts signed up just from South by Southwest.
That's great. I'm showing the rec debate video in the background, but this is of 1.1.
Yeah, that was awesome meeting all the new people that didn't know what is Star Citizen, and it just tickled me to death because like, have you been hiding under a rock? and I got to put myself in their shoes because some people don't follow games a lot.
Yeah, I was there with Clifford, and we'd be like, hey. So, what have you heard about Star Citizen? They're like, nothing. This demo just looked pretty, so I stopped by.
Yeah, but we're the ambassadors. We are the people that are going to lead the sheep to the pasture, to the
slaughter.
Well, yeah, we'll slaughter them. We want them to come in so they'll spend money, so the game gets better, and then we kill them and take all their stuff.
Because it's pay to win.
It is.
I'd say the reason why FPS keeps getting delayed is because Domo keeps messing it up, man. He's not a good programmer. What can we say?
I don't mind. I mean, you guys remember for the Arena Commander, same thing. They showed it at PAX East, and then it was months before it actually came out, like August. So hang in there. It'll come.
I think my takeaway from 1.1 and all the glitches that they're having with it is that I've never seen a company so honest and transparent. Mm-hmm. They could have just been like, hey, we're having some issues, we'll notify you when we get them fixed. And that's like every other game I've played. But they're literally like every day, sometimes several times a day, being like, okay, here's our status, here's what we have identified, here's what we're fixing, this is our schedule, this is how we plan to tackle this. And they do this constantly. Will Leverett is his last name, I want to say. He's been doing an amazing job. He works for CIG. He's been doing an amazing job keeping the community updated. I think it's been extraordinary on their end.
Okay.
My opinion. My two UEC.
I didn't realize this video had music in the background. Oh well. So there goes.
I love that video, by the way.
There goes my thing. Episode 80 didn't go up because people talked me into playing the bird on the video, so I can't put that one on YouTube without some severe editing I got to do. And so this one now, I guess I didn't realize it had music. I didn't hear any music. Did you guys hear music?
No.
I haven't heard
Apparently,
of
the
it.
stream was hearing music. Yeah, I guess this
I
video has
cannot-
some music on it. Oops.
You're
All,
jacked.
all they want is loving you and music.
Yes.
From
What is
Boil Down.
love? Baby, don't hurt me.
From Boil Down.
No mo.
I think outside of edge cases like massive orgs organizing to crew their cap ships, the average mid to large ship owner is going to have a very hard time finding crew for their ships. ... Space. Why? Because I think he means why. Continuing on, because I think most people, most people most of the time would rather fly their own Aurora than be a navigator or a gunner in a constellation, for example. And anyone who gets Star Citizen will have at least one ship. What do you think? Finally, we get to the question, the real question. What do you think the idea of introducing a lower cost to entry into Star Citizen that doesn't include any ship? I thought there already was
There is,
one.
yeah,
but okay.
they're working on that.
Yeah.
These players would crew other people's multi-crew ships until they earn enough to buy a ship in the universe, and that has been discussed before.
Indentured servitude.
I will flip this around and say that by the time a new player completes Squadron 42, they should have enough credits to buy a basic ship.
What if they
It's
don't want to
the-
play the single-player game?
Then you get on somebody
I
else's
think,
ship.
this is my opinion. I think that you should get paid really well for crewing. Like, it's equivalent to almost doing the mission yourself.
Well, it's like how I'm going to do it, Domo. Is like people want to crew on my ship. You know, I'm just like, we're going to split the profit. However many people's on my ship, we split the profits even. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
That was my thought too.
Yeah. When you get the profits, you pay for any damages you incur, any fuel. Then whatever's left over, you split that even Steven with everybody. That's how you do it.
Yeah. Well,
Personally, I would never take more because I'm the captain. That's just not how I would roll.
well, you have the expense of the ship and the fuel, and
Yeah,
the,
that's what-
and the flat
well,
cat
that-
fees.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned you would pay all that up front first, and then you split the
Oh, yeah,
profits.
absolutely,
even, so
yeah.
everybody gets everybody gets the cut.
I mean, personally, during Operation Pitchfork, I don't want to fly my own ship. I literally just want to experience it as an officer on somebody else's. I think that would be a really cool experience. But that's just me.
But I do see what their point is. I'm thinking the same problem. If I have, I have a Carrack and a Banu merchantman, and I'm going to have several people coming with me, so that means I'm going to have to buy other accounts to be my NPCs, or I'm going to have to try to find somebody to come with me, and it might be
Or
kind
hire NPCs.
or hire.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might have to hire them.
Because purchased account characters will also charge money.
They do, but
They'll
you
just
can
charge
train
less.
them. You can train them, and they can level up and get more experience for doing the
So
mission.
can regular NPCs.
What's that? But
So
you
can-
get
I
to
mean,
keep them.
You,
They're like
But,
your
well, I mean-
pets.
yeah. Well, see,
like
that's
the
an
little
interesting
pilot.
idea.
What's that?
I mean, if for example, this is something that as QA I would eventually want to test once the persistent universe is going. If you've got you've got three characters, three accounts, and you got one of them who's acting as captain, you got somebody who's acting as pilot, somebody acting as gunner, scanner, scientist, whatever, engineer, what have you, and you as this main character act as just the shittiest captain in the world.
like
I feel you
these-
like the guy from Futurama, Brock.
Whatever.
Yes.
Um,
Always
and
very sexy,
these NPCs, which are your characters technically, but they're operating as independent entities while they're functioning as NPCs. If they get pissed off and leave,
Mm-hmm.
how does that work? I mean, because all you got to do is log into that character. Go, nope, you're coming right back here. I mean, that's kind of a failure case that I would put into the
So-
test suite.
That's a good idea.
Currently, Chris Roberts has said that character morale is not a thing.
It's coming, though.
He said down the line it might be a thing. He was on stage when this was asked one time, but he says for now it's not a thing. So when you hire an NPC, they will charge you a flat rate that you will have to pay for as long as that NPC is working for you. From there, when you say being a cruddy captain, what do you mean by that?
Okay, that's a perfect
being
example.
rude?
What if you elect not to pay them?
I think there's no choice. I think it's like an in-game mechanic where you just pay
Or
them.
you
Now,
accidentally
if you
start
did
a
this with-
war.
Now, if you did this with a human crew, I can guarantee you that you'd probably find your character thrown out to space, the airlock.
Oh, you saying real
Right.
people? Yeah.
Yeah.
But my thing is the whole saying that wouldn't be possible, that you couldn't not pay them. The really strict, let's make the best damn space simulator ever, where you can do whatever you want. You just took away something I might want to do if I want to play a right jackass. You've taken away the ability for me to stiff my crew if I choose to. Now, I understand why he would say that this is a thing that you should be able to do that. I'm just like, especially like on an exploration thing when we're out of UEE space. Where's your money? Where's the bank you're going to go to get your money? What are you going to spend it on? There's nothing, and I don't know. It's an interesting thing, and we're burning way too much time.
Yeah, I was just about to say let's skip ahead to question 134, and then that'll probably be our last one because we have to wrap up.
134. Is it from Cyberwolf?
Yes,
it is. Years 100. Which alien race would you most like to have? Oh, okay, I misread that. Would you most like to have the model in game of? Would you most like to have the model in game for you to use in a video?
Ooh. I think the one that interests me the most is. So actually, this is. Do you mind if I tell about a few future plans for videos? Okay, so, it's common knowledge that Fiendish Feather is stepping down, and this is not because of a lack in his talent or a lack of Star Citizen's awesomeness. It's that currently CryEngine does not function well with Star Citizen assets. Basically, it's being labeled Star Engine, which is the Star Citizen version of CryEngine.
Because it's going to branch off it. It's going to, yeah.
And so it's so in-depth and so customized that current SDK, which is what we call the modding kit, can't interact with it. So Fiendish Feather has hit a wall where he has the talent but not the assets to make videos.
That's why he's pretty much given up.
Yeah. I'm at a lucky point where I'm just starting to learn SDK. So Fiendish Feather spent about 4 to 5 months honing his skills to get where he was. By the time I spend that time, 4 to 5 months is what I'm anticipating, Chris Roberts has said he would like to have in-game machinima tools, mostly camera controls, already in place so that people could make more videos. But at the same time, eventually down the line, sometime after release, they're going to be releasing ideally machinima tools that uses the Star Engine, that uses the, so as for what I'm planning now, and I'll get back to your question in just a second, it all loops around. I hope to start releasing videos, like beginner videos, like kind of what Fiendish Feather did when he was still learning how to use SDK. I will probably be going dark for it, but in the works, I want to return, and the idea is, and I've spoken quickly to Trent about this, the idea, you don't even remember, you must have been like looking at a furry or something when I was talking, you were just like,
doing that right
not paying attention. But I spoke to Trent about this because I've been contacting several people. I'm looking to start up, and keep in mind that this is an early foundation, something called Imagine Studios. This would be a big venture that would have voice actors and producers and editors and screenwriters and lore testers. And I want this to be an in-game production company dedicated to making Star Citizen machinima, originally directed by me, but eventually I'd love to see people getting the experience to just go off and make their own things. I'd like to see it become self-sustaining. Again, very early works. And this is the first time I've really shared it with anybody. But the idea is that I want to create a TV show set within the verse.
Hold on a second. I apologize. I don't know where the music was coming from.
Yeah, I mean,
oh, is that still up?
There was music playing, and I don't know where it's coming. I'm trying to find it. Anyway, sorry about that.
No, it's all good. So yeah, I'd like to create a TV show set within the verse. And I'd like to do so with the help of many awesome people. Along those lines, if you feel that you can contribute to this, I'd like to know of your talents. But to answer your question, the Banu is what really interests me. They've hardly been discussed. They really haven't been fleshed out. And they're so key to so many different lore aspects of Star Citizen. They're kind of friends with both the Vanduul and the Hewans. Nobody knows how. They're renowned traders. They go around. They're hagglers. They do all sorts of cool things. I would love to see more information on the Banu, and I'd love to kind of explore them in game. So, kind of a roundabout answer. Also explaining why you won't see so many videos from me. I will say that at South by Southwest, I was able to pitch a new video idea to Chris Roberts, and he really liked it, and he would like to see Cloud Imperium Games and myself collaborate on this. And I'm in the process of working this through, and more info will be coming on that soon too. So, but yeah, so that's kind of the answer to your question and future plans for video content. Trenday, yes.
Go ahead.
Years100, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Years100 because I'm creative. You can find me on YouTube at Years100. You can find me on the RSI forums at Years100. Or if you go to Imperial News Network, that's the site I helped co-found that gives off a lot of timely news info about Star Citizen and also curates various community efforts. If you go there in the About Us section, you'll see a short bio of myself along with my email that you can email me at. But contacting me on the RSI forums, on Twitter, even over YouTube, like if you wanted to, that's all totally fine. And
so
I'd love to
100
talk to you.
everywhere.
All over the place. Actually, I originally went by like 3 different names, but after I made Imagine and right before the career videos, I was talking to several people, and they're like, "You really need to consolidate your name." And so, yeah, and so I ended up mixing it all into one.
No worries.
So
It's good name. We all have silly names except Clifford.
yeah, Clifford's Miku, aka Miku.
Yeah.
Speaking of Clifford, where can we find you?
You can find me at Twitch, Clifford _aka _Miku, Clifford _Miku at Twitter, and then on YouTube, same thing. Or you can just go ahead.
No, sorry. Trendane, go.
Nobody cares.
People want to find you, Trendane.
Everybody cares.
Nobody
I
loves
care. I care.
You know where to find me. I'm trending everywhere. Disco Lando even said so.
You see that? You're famous. You didn't even admit it.
Famous.
Oh, let me post also his.
You're
his
not
guides.
famous? When I first made the fighter pilot video, Will thought you made it. He didn't even notice my name. He was like, "Thank you for making this, Trendane," and I was like, "Oh."
And it wasn't even supposed to be me. No,
Great job with that, though. You're
whatever.
amazing.
So I think, speaking of Will, we should have whenever he's doing the thing, in the background behind Lando, where he's got the stuff, he should be Disc Foe Lando. I think should be what. Anyway,
great.
Domo, where can we find you?
Right here.
All right.
Everywhere.
And on Twitter, you throw out a lot of tweets.
I tweet a lot. People, you said right tonight, 2 people have come here. Hey, Domo, I saw your Twitter. It's just I don't know. I'm addicted to Twitter.
We love Twitter.
I love
That's why I'm trying not to pay attention to it.
Yeah, I'm really bad. So don't follow me if you don't want to.
Trend, you are active on Twitter.
Well, you don't see the furry stuff though.
Well, yeah.
So I'm really active on that side, and so
Yeah,
see
that's,
more.
he only responds to mine when I post that furry from the Renaissance.
That's how you
He's
get
like,
his
oh, I'm like, wow, he does exist.
What you have to do is ask your genuine question and then just link to an image of a furry, and it will get his attention, and then he'll respond.
Okay.
Trendane, can you get a fan inserted somewhere around your rectum in your furry outfit so it blows air on your ass?
Oh, when you said a fan, I thought you meant somebody who just appreciates you a lot. I'm like, yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't because I'm a top. I wouldn't do that. But anyway, no. But typically there are fans like
Because it
if
seems to
people
get
have.
hot as hell in there.
You'd be surprised. Just a fan blowing on your face, even very very slowly, can actually make a tremendous lot of difference.
Yeah.
But if the suit is built properly, it'll ventilate pretty well.
Yeah.
It'll be very snug up against your face, so that you don't have a bunch of hot air hanging all around you.
Okay.
And then even the slightest breeze, it just passes right through the fur and just sucks all the heat right out of it. I mean, as long as they're designed well, they're actually very comfortable to wear for extended periods, and you get used to them really fast.
Okay.
I was going to say,
10 years of
university, I was able to be the school mascot at various events. Those were not designed well, and we had to wear ice packs in a vest around us because it would get so hot that if I wore glasses, like I wear contacts or glasses depending on how lazy I am. If I'm feeling good, I will wear the contacts. If I'm not, I throw on glasses. I couldn't wear glasses because you would sweat so much that they would slide down your face, off your face. So, yeah, I'm glad that there are ways to enjoy being a furry without dying.
And the ice packs last about 10 minutes,
and then they're gone.
And then they're gone.
And then,
they are
then
the
it'll
same
warm up.
temperature.
Now you have
Yeah.
something there insulating you to warm you
Yeah.
up.
And
All
you're out there for 45 minutes, and it just sucks.
It is time. We have to get out of here, otherwise the VOD or the video.
And I have to go to the thing.
Yes, time for the base. All right, Trendane. Trendane, where are you going right now? Everyone?
Going to the base.
The base. Remember, everybody, thank you so much for Years 100 for being here tonight. And Clifford, once again, and Trendane, as always, I will have you back at some point down the road. Thanks a lot for coming. Remember, everybody, it's nice to be important, but more important to be nice.
Be careless.
See ya.
Aw, that's cute.
Bye-bye.